But the main event, though, was Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Last man standing match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Very little fan expectations coming into it. I've gotten excited before for their matches. The Crown Jewel match, that was good. I liked that match last year. But the WrestleMania match was good, but it was very underwhelming. And a few of their other encounters kind of fell below that level of expectations as well. So I didn't really have high hopes for this. No one really was clamoring for it. Randy was out injured, so they couldn't do Roman and Randy. But listen, for a match that was not on the books a couple of months ago, this ended up being better than it had any right to be, and that's putting it lightly. This was an absolute war. They did some creative shit with the tractor and the ring being tipped over. That was a great visual. Mike, Alexis's father, told me yesterday that it was one of the best matches he's ever seen, and he's been watching wrestling for a very long time. Granted, he's a Brock fan, so he's biased, but still, he loved that. And even watching it live in person was an absolute spectacle. So I love the hell out of this match. That it was easily the best match they've had since WrestleMania 31. Not quite sure I would put it over that match, but this one was a lot of fun. And Roman winning was the right call. Roman should not be losing until at least Clash of the Castle, where I think he might lose to Drew, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this spectacle of a main event that was Roman versus Brock for the upteenth time.
No, this, like you said, this was great. I think this was like, literally what they said it was like the culmination of a hoss fight, and that's what it was. It was just two absolute behemoths going at each other, doing everything possible to beat one another. Like you said, pulled out the tractor, flipped the ring, chairs, stairs, interference. It had everything. Heyman bump, which you never see. I mean, Brock looked like like Godzilla, basically. He took like 30 spears, like, it was exactly what it needed to be. Like I said, the culmination of all their fights. And like I said, it was like Godzilla versus King Kong. It was done perfectly. And, I mean, no one left disappointed. And I think Roman winning was the right call, so that was good. With the guy winning, the correct guy winning is always important, people. And Roman won. Like I said, now it leads to him and Drew at Clash of the Castle. And I thought it was the best match they've had since WrestleMania 31. Not even
close. Yeah. Please let that be the end. Please let there not be another match between these two men. They closed out their feud, a very long feud, that very long running rivalry since 2015. On a high note, they did a great job of that. So it felt like the culmination of a hoss fight, as you described it. And yeah, I thought it was the right result as well. Brock was protected in defeat with all the interference. Again, overbooked the shit, but I thought it was a very entertaining main event and what it needed to be, and a lot more than that. So on a quick side note with Brock, what do you think the future holds for him? I do not think we've seen the last of his matches in WWE. I heard he's even advertised coming up, I think, for Day 1. I did not know they announced Day 1 at SummerSlam. I guess they did in a commercial. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, or we just didn't see it in the arena. Maybe it was on SmackDown. I think it was on SmackDown they announced it, because they were in Atlanta, and that's where it's going to be again on January 1st, 2023. Brock was on the poster for that show. It doesn't mean much. I mean, Brock was on the poster for WrestleMania Backlash, too, and he wasn't on that show either. But yeah, I could see Brock being back for that. What he does is the question. I don't know if Roman will still be champion by then. They should absolutely not put him in the fucking title picture anyway. How would you book Brock? Would you put him in an attraction match? Would you have someone call him out? Does he rekindle a rivalry maybe? Would you be content with never seeing Brock wrestle again in WWE? I want to get your thoughts. Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting. I literally think at this point it is interesting. He's not one of the boys, so it's... I don't know. I feel like at this point, like, it's tough with his situation. I feel like it has to be like a special attraction, especially with his limited schedule. I mean, if he was coming back for more regular dates, I mean, I think, honestly, you could probably, if you really wanted to, which, I mean, I don't think they would, like, maybe give him, like, an IC or a U.S. title run. I mean, besides that, what else are you going to do with them? I mean, besides, like, Drew and Brock, or Drew and Roman, I really don't know what else you would do with them, like, right now. He's not going to do, like, a normal thing. I really don't. I really don't know. I don't even have a guess, honestly.
Well, you got to remember, too, that, you know, if he does come back, he's got to win. I mean, whatever match he has next, whether it be with a Bobby or a Gunther or whoever that people want to see Brock face again or for the first time, he has to win. I mean, he lost to Roman twice, dude, in the last couple of months. And he actually lost to him 3 times if you include the Crown Jewel match. He went 0-3 against Roman since returning in 2021. Props to Brock for doing the job. I mean, the guy did not lose for a very long time after breaking the streak. And he finally lost. He lost to Drew, too, at WrestleMania before he left. The guy needs wins. I mean, I say that as if he's buried. I mean, he doesn't. He's not buried by any means, but the guy should probably be winning a majority of his matches, and he just has not won lately. That's correct given each situation. But whatever match he has next, I don't want to see him in there with Gunther if Gunther's going to lose or if Bobby's going to lose. Maybe it has to be the right situation. It has to be the right opponent. And I'm not sure if Brock's the guy to just come in and do a quick match. He is, but as far as, for example, when they brought back Goldberg 3 years ago to do that squash with Dolph, I loved it. I thought that was perfect. Dolph was talking shit about him for a few weeks. Goldberg comes back, beats him in a 2 or 3 minute match. I thought that was perfect. Ziggler sold his ass off. Was it a marquee match? No. But the real appeal was in Goldberg wrestling a match and winning. And I don't know if Brock, they have never booked Brock on a pay-per-view in like a squash, yes, but as far as against a lower level loser, I don't know if he's going to have a pay-per-view match with Sami Zayn, for example, which honestly would be fucking great given their history on SmackDown. That would be awesome. I don't know if they would do that per se, or him and Dolph or someone like that, so you really got to pick. I don't know. I feel like at this point, you mentioned his schedule. He was very much full-time when he was doing the Roman stuff going into WrestleMania. He was on almost every SmackDown for a good 4 or 5 month period, which was really impressive. I just don't know what you bring him back for if it's not for the championship. The guy would wipe his ass with the Intercontinental Championship, so I'm not even sure if that's an option. But I don't know. Are there any opponents on the current roster that you would want to see him face? Again, putting aside the circumstances, okay, he would have to lose, but is it a Bobby again and get a real match out of them? Or is it a Gunther? Or is it someone else that we haven't really thought of yet? A Drew again, who we didn't really get to see that match. The match was only 4 minutes and it was in front of fans. So I'm curious what other potential dream opponents you have for Brock at this point.
Like you said, I think like Gunther beating him would definitely be ideal. But like I said, he needs to win. I think there's a better chance, like you said, you feed him like a Sami Zayn or something, or someone around those lines, and if you're gonna keep. The thing is, the problem with Brock, realistically, at the end of the day, is he's such a big attraction. It's main title or bust. I feel like. He's such a big name. They're paying him so much. Being an underneath guy, like a mid card guy, just doesn't even seem like it's in the cards. So, yeah. Like I said, maybe beating up like a Sami Zayn, like you said, more of a squash match, and then maybe doing something with. Him and Gunther, I feel like that's one of the dream matches for Brock that he hasn't faced yet, but. I guess we'll see what's coming up, but besides that, I don't see him mid-carding anywhere.
Yeah, I don't see that either. I don't see him being in the middle of a show on a pay-per-view facing some random guy. I don't see him facing Damian Priest on a fucking day one show or facing, Ricochet. I say Ricochet. He actually did face Ricochet a couple of years ago, but that was for the WWE title and he beat him in 90 seconds. That was a bit different. That was when Brock was the champion. But yeah, if it was a match not for a championship, not for a world title, I really don't know what you'd do with him. And I want to see Brock. I do want to see Brock be brought back. His latest runs have been great as far as his character work and the babyface stuff. Cowboy Brock is fucking money. So I do want to see more of Cowboy Brock, but it's got to be in the right situation.